بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
والعاديات ضبحا
By the racers panting,
فالموريات قدحا
and the producers of sparks when striking,
فالمغيرات صبحا
and the chargers at dawn,
فأثرن به نقعا
stirring up thereby clouds of dust,
فوسطن به جمعا
arriving thereby in the center collectively.
إن الإنسان لربه لكنود
Indeed, mankind to his Lord is ungrateful,
وإنه على ذلك لشهيد
and indeed he is to that a witness,
وإنه لحب الخير لشديد
and indeed he is in love of wealth intense.
أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور
But does he not know that when the contents of the graves are scattered,
وحصل ما في الصدور
and that within the breasts is obtained,
إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير
indeed their Lord with them that day is fully acquainted.
Today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful short chapters in the Quran, Al Adiyat, or the War Steeds. And honestly, it's structured almost like an action movie that builds to this really profound punchline about, well, us. So how does it open? With this incredibly mysterious and poetic line, an oath. We're just dropped right into the middle of the action, and the first thing you hear is the sound of heavy, panting breath. It sets this really tense, cinematic tone from the get-go. You see, the first 5 verses are like one long, continuous shot. They paint this single, visceral scene that's all about sheer power and a clear, unwavering purpose. So let's just follow the action step by step.
Okay, so first, it's all about the sound. I want you to imagine the deep, rhythmic panting of these powerful animals just running at full speed. This is not a casual gallop, right? This is an all-out, lung-burning charge that immediately creates this feeling of intense energy.
And now we get a visual. As their hooves are just pounding against the rocky ground, probably in the darkness, they're literally striking sparks of fire. It's this brilliant, fleeting image of pure force meeting friction. The scene is lighting up from its own intensity. Then we get the timing. This is a surprise attack at dawn, a classic military move. And that tells us something really important. These steeds aren't just running wild. Nope, they are part of a deliberate, focused plan. They are on a mission. And think about the impact of this charge on the world around them. It's totally overwhelming. They're kicking up so much dust that it creates this massive cloud, blinding everything, adding to the chaos and the pure intimidation of their approach. You can almost feel the grit in the air. And right here, this is the climax of the charge. They don't stop at the edge of the battle. They plunge directly into the heart of the enemy, breaking their lines, creating total confusion. This is the moment their entire purpose has been building towards.
So we've just witnessed this incredible image of relentless, loyal, forward momentum. But you have to ask, what is the point of all this? Where is this intense cinematic buildup actually going?
Well, right after that heart-pounding opening, the chapter makes this sudden, dramatic U-turn. The camera, so to speak, pulls all the way back from the battlefield and zooms directly into a completely different subject, the human heart. And this just begs the question, right? Why swear by these loyal, powerful war horses? Why paint this incredibly detailed picture of their purpose and their sacrifice? What in the world does that have to do with us? And boom, There it is, the pivot, the answer to the oath. That entire epic cinematic scene was the setup for this one stark statement. After we witness the absolute loyalty of the steed, we're immediately confronted with the disloyalty of humankind.
So the next few verses start to really diagnose this core problem. The chapter shifts completely from describing an external battle to an internal, spiritual condition. Now, we have to talk about the specific word used here, kanud. It doesn't just mean ungrateful. It describes a very particular kind of person, someone who obsesses over and complains about every single calamity, but is completely blind to the countless blessings they have. You know, it's almost a perfect spiritual description of what psychologists call a negativity bias. We remember the one thing that went wrong and forget the 100 things that went right. But then it adds another layer. It says man is a witness to his own ingratitude. So whether it's through his actions or his words or just that little voice in his conscience, deep down he knows this about himself. It's not some hidden flaw. It's something he's actively aware of. And this is what makes the opening so brilliant. It sets up this incredible contrast. On one side, you have the steed, giving its breath, its strength, its very life, all in service to its rider. And on the other side, you have man, who, despite receiving countless blessings from his Lord, is described as forgetful and unappreciative. So if that's the problem, what's the root cause of this state of kanud, this ingratitude? Well, the chapter points its finger at one specific thing, a powerful attachment that clouds our judgment. The verse describes this attachment as violent or intense. The Arabic word is shadid, which implies a love that's so strong it's almost like an illness. This isn't just about liking nice things. It's a fierce, all-consuming love of wealth that becomes the main driver in life, and it just eclipses everything else, especially gratitude. So there you have it, the three core traits being presented. Ingratitude, being fully aware of that flaw, and having this intense love for material gain. Now, let's see how this all builds to its inevitable conclusion. The chapter shifts its focus one last time. It moves from diagnosing the problem we have right now to a powerful warning about the future, about a day of ultimate accountability, a day when everything is finally laid bare. And it starts with a series of rhetorical questions aimed right at us. The first one basically asks, doesn't this person so caught up in ingratitude and the love of wealth realize a day is coming when everything that's buried will be brought out into the open? And the second question goes even deeper. It's not just about what's physically buried in the ground. It asks, doesn't he know that on that day, all the secrets locked up inside the heart, the real intentions, the hidden motives, that ingratitude, all of it will be exposed for everyone to see? And this is the final, resounding verse that ties it all together. It's a simple, powerful truth. Nothing was ever hidden in the first place. God always knew. The day of unveiling isn't for him to find out. It's for us to finally see the reality that was there all along. And that kind of leaves you with a lingering question to think about. If you lived your life as if your deepest secrets were already known, how would that change things?